Police investigating a murder-suicide in Gatineau. Those developments just in after responding to an apartment fire with 2 people inside pronounced dead at the scene. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan. Breaking news developments from Gatineau Police this afternoon. What started as a fatal fire investigation is now being considered a case of murder-suicide. The tragedy playing out on Laurier Street in the city's Hull sector. CTV's Tyler Fleming joins us with the latest. Tyler.
Stefan, Gatineau Police say they were called to the apartment complex for a wellness check when they discovered the fire. Residents of the 16-story high-rise at 225 Rue Laurier say fire alarms rang out just before 2 a.m. Those who evacuated and went outside saw dozens of firefighters along with paramedics and police. And inside one of the lower units, there was a small fire. 2 people were found unconscious and pronounced dead at the scene. Now investigators calling it a murder-suicide, saying a 34-year-old man killed his 30-year-old partner before taking his own life.
Pretty scary getting down. We were kind of smelling more and more fire out as we were going downstairs. It was on the 4th floor. They were saying like from 401 to 407. These were the floors that or the units that people couldn't go back in. I didn't expect it. I thought, no fire. Everyone seemed okay. So yeah, it's pretty sad to hear.
By 3:30 a.m., fire crews had the blaze under control. The majority of residents were allowed to return home, while about 30 others could not. For those who cannot, the Red Cross is offering assistance until they can return back as police continue their investigation. Stefan.
All right, CTV's Tyler Fleming reporting live for us. Thank you, Tyler. Transit riders could be compensated for OC Transpo not living up to expectations. In an update from the city, we're told councillors are being presented with a variety of options to make good on the service slacking in standards, and it could come in the form of free rides. CTV's Leah Larocque is here with more details. Leah.
Well, Stefan, councillors asked for this report months ago because service has been so poor and not the system that transit users say they are paying for. But the problem is some riders aren't sure if a discount will actually make a difference, including partial refunds, which would cost $8.2 million. Cutting the regular fare price in half for a month would cost around $3 million a month. Offering free fares for one weekend would cost around $450,000. Councillor Sean Menard says there is a way to do it and not cost transit riders by using money that they withheld from Rideau Transit Group. But for many riders, the priority isn't money.
Yeah, they shouldn't have to pay as much as they're paying.
I was going to Ottawa to take the bus and the train. I stopped doing that and taking my car instead because it was not a great experience.
Making the service better would benefit everybody here in the city.
I would like to get money, sure, but at the end of the day, what I want is public transit that works, and public transit that works for everyone in the city.
Staff do say that councillors should consider the current financial situation at OC Transpo while considering these options, noting there is a $47 million hole in this year's budget. Councillors will discuss the options next week. Now, OC Transpo has offered free transit to riders before. Last May, OC Transpo offered no charge weekend on a Saturday and Sunday, which cost $285,000. In 2021, a free month of transit in December cost about $7.1 million. Stefan.
Some interesting proposals on the table. Thank you for this, Leah. The federal government says more public servants will have assigned seating as they start to spend more time in the office.
To the extent we can get to more assigned seating, we will do that, but that will take some time, and it will vary by minister or by department because there was growth across the public service that was not supported with real property additions.
The Secretary of the Treasury Board told a Commons committee the government will be moving away from desk hoteling and assigning seats to public servants where possible. Officials say teams prefer to work together with an office and not a shared office. As of July 6th, public servants will be required to be in the office a minimum of 4 days a week. Police officers and politicians gathered in Cobourg today to remember the Ontario Provincial Police officer who died in a motorcycle crash while on duty.
Brandon was a big man, but his heart was even larger. And I know Sergeant Malcolm represented the very best of Ontario. Bravery, compassion, and a commitment to leave his community better than he found it.
Premier Doug Ford spoke at the funeral for Sergeant Brandon Malcolm today. The 33-year-old was killed in a crash on Highway 401 in Cobourg on April 27th. The circumstances leading to the crash are still under investigation. Smiths Falls is the last small municipality in eastern Ontario with its own police service. Now the town is taking the first step in exploring the future of policing, including whether to switch to the OPP. Council says it is facing unprecedented inflationary cost increases for policing, so it has directed staff to look at a future policing option and a bid to find budget savings.
Municipalities across Ontario are facing cost pressures. What our biggest cost center in Smiths Falls, our single biggest cost center, is our policing services.
Typically when this occurs, it's the same officers patrolling the community, wearing a different uniform and driving different cars.
The motion asked the town staff to come back with a report in June on what process the municipality would go through looking at other options like the OPP. Ottawa police are investigating after a church altar was damaged when a random person disrupted a Sunday service in Canada. The incident happened at the church on Rothsey Drive on May 3rd. Police say the suspect entered the church, damaged an item on the altar, and shouted profanities before fleeing in a vehicle. Investigators are now looking for witnesses to come forward. Ottawa's Public School Board says no students will have to change schools as part of a plan to balance enrollment at 6 schools in the West End. The Ottawa Carleton District School Board will present proposals for the West Central Accommodation Review at a public meeting tonight. The plan will see early French immersion programs added to Churchill Alternative School and Hilson Public School starting in 2027. Attendance boundaries will change at 4 other neighborhood schools, but students will be allowed to graduate at their current schools. Full details are available on our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca. The Ottawa Airport is hoping to become a North American hub of choice for travelers as it sees an increase in passengers. The Airport Authority held its annual meeting today at the EY Centre. Last year, 4.9 million passengers traveled through the Ottawa Airport, up 6% from 2024. Airport officials hope to become a destination since Ottawa is within a 2-hour flight for approximately 150 million people.
If we can become a hub and bring passengers from outside Ottawa to fill the planes that are flying out of here, that helps make the business rationale for the airlines to add more and more direct flights. So that's why we're really focused, not only on serving the passengers who originate here, but making sure that we can become more and more of a connection point for other passengers.
The Airport Authority is hoping this initiative will attract more flights and carriers. Next week, the Ottawa Airport is adding nonstop service to London Gatwick after adding an Ottawa to Heathrow flight last year. It was a cold April for Ottawa's real estate market. The Ottawa Real Estate Board says 1,336 homes were sold in Ottawa last month, down 2% from last year. The average sale price of a home was up slightly to $712,000. The board says despite the lower sales, more listings were added to the market. The Ottawa Art Gallery and the Royal are marking 10 years of healing through art.
Today we celebrate not just 10 years of partnership, but 10 years of potential and promise. And it's an honor and such a pleasure to leave the hospital today and come to such a beautiful, splendid place.
The new exhibition Frame of Mind was unveiled today at the Ottawa Art Gallery. Through the creative space partnership, educators and participants engage with art making as a tool for wellness, expression, and connection during weekly in-person and online classes. The exhibition runs until June 14th. Coming up on CTV News at 5, is the cost of compensation to transit riders for poor service worth the price tag to customers? News Talk 580 CFRA's Christy Cameron joins us next for that conversation. Taking a look at our current conditions weather-wise, 11 degrees is where we're sitting at right now. There's some cloud coverage that will be clearing out. And right now we're seeing fairly similar conditions across the board. Along some of the Seaway municipalities, they're sitting at single-digit territory temperatures currently. 9 degrees in Cornwall and Brockville, 8 degrees in Kingston and Trenton, 7 in Bancroft. But in the Valley and Ottawa, we're hovering around 11 and 12 degrees. Again, very slimmer conditions across the board. And here's what you need to know. The Canadian Tulip Festival kicks off this weekend with more than 300,000 tulips blooming in Commissioners Park. The festival runs until Victoria Day. Taking a live look at traffic, the 417 westbound is heavy from Nicholas to Woodruff. Eastbound has moderate to heavy volume from Greenbank to Innis. The 174 eastbound is slow from the split to Montreal Road. And there is a collision to report on the on-ramp, eastbound on-ramp of the Queensway at Maitland. Hunt Club at the Airport Parkway is there's another crash, and there's one at Heron at Bronson. We'll be right back.
You're watching CTV News at 5 with Stefan Keys.
Our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. Turning back to one of our top stories of the day, OC Transpo is outlining ways the city could compensate transit riders for poor service this winter, but it comes with a multi-million-dollar price tag. The options include retroactive refunds at a cost of $8 million or future discounts of 60% off for monthly passes costing at least $2 million. Today's CFRA question of the day asks, should OC Transpo riders be compensated for this poor service?
It's definitely going to increase taxes, which I'm against. That's a weak position. You should fix the transit system to be reliable.
Christy Cameron is here with more, and Christy, Leah Larocque covered this story for us today, and a lot of transit users say, you know, the discount may not make a difference to us, just fix the service. Use that money to fix the service. What are your thoughts?
I agree. It kind of reminds me of if you've ever had food poisoning from a restaurant, you notify them and they say, great, next time you come, we're so sorry, but we'll offer you 50% off on your next meal. No thanks. Go back to the kitchen and figure out what the heck's going on back there. Maybe it's not the same thing. Maybe I'm comparing apples to oranges. I appreciate the conversation about compensation because to me it signals that the city is listening and they understand that this was a miserable winter between the bus cancellations and the new bearing issue. It was very difficult. So they've studied it, but I don't think right now is the right time. I'll tell you why, because there's no way of doing it without blowing a massive hole in an already failing budget.
Right.
We have a lot of money that's at stake here. I don't think refunds mean much until they have solved the problem. The O train, for example, it is still running under capacity because of that bearing issue. They still haven't figured out why the spalling or the metal flaking happened. So figure that out, get to the root of the problem, and then maybe when it's all fixed, offer the discount then as a way to thank people. Otherwise, it's all bluster.
Well, it's a decent gesture, but to your point, if we're compensating people because the service is subpar, well, when do we stop compensating them because it isn't fixed? Like, how often can you do this? And we can't afford to.
It also doesn't compensate them for missing a school exam,
right,
or being late to work, getting in trouble with a boss, missing a doctor's appointment,
having to pay a fee for missing those appointments.
Right, right. So again, it is a gesture, and I really appreciate that they're looking at it, but I would appreciate it more if they actually fix the system.
All right, thank you, Christy.
Thank you.
You can join the conversation, leave a comment through the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen live to Christy Cameron on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 2 to 6, and now watch Christy anytime on YouTube. Subscribe to the News Talk 580 CFRA channel. Coming up on CTV News at 5, the Blackjacks gear up for the new season with preseason game for students. Here's what else you need to know. The Carp Farmers Market kicks off its new season this weekend. More than 100 vendors will be selling produce, baked goods, and crafts on Saturday. Now for another live check on traffic. Again, we are seeing heavy volume in the westbound lanes of the Queensway between Bronson and Woodruff. Eastbound, moderate to heavy from Isabella to Innis. The 174 eastbound, if you're headed out to Orleans, is slow from the split to Montreal Road. And we are still reporting a collision in the eastbound on-ramp of the 417 at Maitland. We'll be right back.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Coming up later tonight on CTV after the 6 o'clock news, E-Talk starts at 7, then an episode of The Big Bang Theory at 7:30, MasterChef at 8, The Floor at 9, and then back-to-back episodes of The Big Bang Theory begin at 10. Now for another check on the weather forecast, we're going to take a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It is currently 11 degrees right now. And as we take a look at our satellite radar picture, we also know that there's quite a bit of cloud coverage in our region. We expect those clouds to clear out, but some more clouds will be rolling back in, and they could bring some precipitation. We're looking at a 30% chance of rain, so maybe unlikely, but if you do see some sprinkling coming down from the sky, don't be surprised. Overnight, 3 degrees is low. Tomorrow, 14 degrees. Our usual highs around this time of year around 17 or 18, so we are a little bit below our seasonal average. In the valley, 2 degrees overnight, 13 degrees, and mostly cloudy tomorrow for that daytime high. And along the Seaway, very similar conditions, but slightly warmer overnight at 4 degrees. Sunny skies tomorrow along the Seaway towns, 12 degrees there for the daytime high. Taking a look at our 5-day forecast right now, we are going to see a stretch of cloud coverage for the next couple of days. Again, you're seeing those 30% chance of showers, 14 degrees for the high tomorrow. Friday, a high of 13. Overnight, if you're going to be out after sunset, make sure that you layer up because we will be sitting closer to the freezing mark as the temperatures start to dip overnight. Saturday, though, nice and sunny, 16 degrees for the daytime high. Sunday, sorry, Mom, Mother's Day, could see some rainfall, 14 degrees for the high there.
Weather is brought to you by Manotick Tree, complete tree care from start to stump.
And here's a look at the stories you're checking out right now on CTV News Ottawa.ca. We want to draw your attention to our photo gallery because we know that we could be seeing some cloud coverage for the next few days, but we certainly got a beautiful sunset last night. Many of you are viewers sending us your photos. Check out our gallery online. Click through their beautiful colors, purple, golds, pinks. And again, CTV News Ottawa.ca, just at the top of the screen there, you can see the photos. Click on that and they'll bring you to the gallery.
His friend as much as his right foot. It's Tabla for the heading!
Coming up, a major upset on the pitch as Atletico Ottawa faces off against Toronto FC. Here's what else you need to know. Chess comes to life on Parliament Hill this Saturday. Experience a life-size chess match where participants bring the match to life. Live chess is set for 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, that's Saturday. Today's cheapest gas prices can be found at the Stinson gas station on Bank Street, with gas selling for $1.84 for a liter of regular. Here's another live check on traffic. The volume is starting to ease as we approach 5:30, but again, the westbound lanes headed out towards Canada are seeing quite a bit of volume. You can see it right there on the screens at Bayswater. It starts to pick up after Bronson and really gets backed up around Parkdale. Again, stretches out all the way to about Woodruff right before you get out to Canada around Bayshore there. You're watching CTV News at 5.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Current temperature, 11 degrees. And it's time now for a look ahead to CTV News at 6. Here's Patricia Bull.
Thanks, Steph. Here's what we're working on for 6 o'clock. Police investigating a suspected murder-suicide at an apartment in Gatineau.
Pretty scary getting down. We were kind of smelling more and more fire out as we were going downstairs.
The bodies of 2 people were found inside an apartment as police conducted a wellness check this morning. CTV's Tyler Fleming will have more on the fire that was then reported in that same building.
We still have, in my view, we have created the foundation to make sure that we would be a leader in electric vehicle.
There is bad news on the horizon for Ottawa's auto industry. A report says Honda will suspend plans to build a massive new electric vehicle plant in Canada after slow demand in the United States.
The way in which OpenAI had initially trained ChatGPT did not respect Canadian privacy laws.
And Canada's Privacy Commissioner concludes popular internet chatbot known as ChatGPT violated Canada's privacy laws. In response, OpenAI says it has introduced new measures to better protect personal information in the ongoing development and delivery of ChatGPT. All of that and more is coming up tonight on CTV News at 6. That's right after the early edition of CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo at 5:30. Steph.
Thank you, Patricia. Now the final 5 other stories we're following today. The city of Gatineau is scaling back its flood response.
The water levels are declining faster than expected, which is certainly a good news.
As the Ottawa River levels continue to recede, the city announced it is moving to recovery operations. Water levels have dropped 30 centimeters at the Hull Marina since last Friday. Sandbagging sites will close today, and several streets are opening to local traffic.
His friend as much as his right foot. It's Tabla for the heading!
Atletico Ottawa pulling off a major upset in TELUS Canadian Championship. The reigning Canadian Premier League champions beat Toronto FC 3-1 last night in Toronto. It was Atletico's first ever win against TFC. Ottawa now advances to the quarterfinal stage of the Canadian Domestic Championship in July. Students had a chance to learn more about basketball today at TD Place. The Ottawa Blackjacks hosted their school day game today, presented by Bell Let's Talk. Ottawa opens the CEBL season next Tuesday at TD Place against the Calgary Surge.
The game we played a few months ago was great. It was so loud and it was a great atmosphere, so I can imagine it being something like that, and we're super excited to be here and have our fans here with us.
The Ottawa Charge hitting the ice at the Canadian Tire Centre today ahead of their first home playoff game. The Charge and Boston Fleet are tied at 1 game apiece in their first round PWHL playoff game. There are still some tickets left for Game 3 on Friday night. And Ottawa is officially a bird-friendly city. Nature Canada has awarded the intermediate-level bird-friendly city certification to the nation's capital. The certification means the city is meeting or exceeding standards to reducing threats to birds. The city of Gatineau is hosting an event tomorrow to celebrate its high-level certification as a bird-friendly city as well. That is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. Thank you so much for watching. The early edition of National starts now.